Being First Lady, Michelle Obama was seen as perhaps one of the most powerful women ever to live in the White House. I don't know about you, but for me, I look at my life of trying to handle the daily pressures and daily stresses of work and looking after a team, having a family. I've got 2 young kids, general keeping up with friends and your usual family stresses in the wider environment. Life can get pretty tough. And here's Michelle Obama handling all of that. Marriage, 2 kids, living in the White House, in the public eye, no less. In the evenings, no doubt she's having conversations with her partner about global issues, war on the horizon, so many highly stressful things. How does someone who doesn't just have to handle it privately in their own space, but actually has to handle it all in the public eye while everyone's judging what you're wearing, what you're saying, and looking for you to be the hugest inspiration in the world? How do you handle that kind of stress? Well, I was really fascinated to read in her recent book, Becoming, a lot about exactly how she handles that kind of stress. And I think there is something that all of us can take away from this. When you dig in, you see that for Michelle Obama, one of the key and crucial things she does to handle her stress is to put her own needs first. Now, that kind of sounds a little counter-logical or the opposite of what happens a lot in the world for us as women. Why? And especially for her, right? By her very title is First Lady, thanks very much, or was First Lady, where everything about her is defined by her needing to support this man who was the president. So when everything about you is defined by needing to support, how do you put yourself first? Well, she did, and that's how she manages her stress. It's something I think all of us can learn. And actually, I wrote down the quote from the book because it was so impactful for me. She says, "Exercise is really important to me. It's therapeutic. So if I'm ever feeling tense or stressed, like I'm about to have a meltdown, I'll put on my iPod and head to the gym or out on a bike ride along Lake Michigan with the girls." I mean, what a role model. And it's interesting, actually, as you dig in and you discover more about this, she says that a big part of her prioritizing her needs is to be a role model for her own girls. She says, "I'm working out just as much for my girls as I am for me because I want them to see a mother who loves them dearly, who invests in them, but also who invests in herself. It's just as much about letting them know that it's okay to put yourself a little higher on the priority list." Now, I think this should be captioned and blasted around the world, that we should absolutely learn to put ourselves a little higher always on our priority lists. For us as women, no one knows our own needs better than ourselves. And quite frankly, when we don't prioritize our own needs, that's when we get very disempowered. It's when we start bitching and yelling at our kids or bitching and yelling at our work colleagues, giving them the cold shoulder or being all passive aggressive. It's when we start going into martyr, "Oh my God, I've got to do so much for so many people." When we get disempowered, that's because we haven't been putting our own needs first. We need to put our own needs first in order to handle the stress that life throws at us. We cannot always prioritize everybody else's needs. So my question for you is, what do you do when you feel yourself on the brink of a meltdown? For Michelle Obama, it's exercise. For me, I love to put on a track list that I've got and dance. I dance out how stressed I feel. I get cranky. I smash pillows around my bedroom. Sometimes I'll just get out for a walk in nature. Anything that just allows that energy, that stress energy to move through is huge. What do you do? I'm interested to hear in the comments below. If you like the video, click like and share in the comments below what you do to handle your stress.